Hello, my darling. Come here, tuck yourself in, and let me tell you something that happened many years ago. Something I don't often speak about, not because it frightens me anymore, but because it reminds me that the world is full of mysteries we'll never quite understand. I want to share this whispered tale with you tonight because I think you'll understand, and maybe, just maybe, it'll help you trust your instincts more deeply. You know how sometimes life gets so noisy, so full of people talking and cars rushing and chores piling up, and you just want to run away to somewhere quiet where the only sound is the wind in the trees and the gentle creak of an old floorboard under your foot? Well, many years ago, I did just that. I booked a little cabin way up in the mountains, all by itself, no neighbors, no phones, no distractions. I thought it would be the perfect place to rest my mind, to write a little in my journal, maybe knit something warm, and just be still for a while. I packed a small bag, just the essentials, some thick socks, a warm sweater, my favorite tea, and a book of poetry. When I arrived, the air was crisp and clean, and the cabin, oh, it was just lovely. Wooden walls that smelled faintly of cedar, a little fireplace, and an old rocking chair that looked like it had listened to many stories over the years. I lit a fire, made myself a cup of chamomile, and sat down to breathe in the silence. It was exactly what I'd hoped for. But darling, the thing is, the cabin wasn't empty, not in the way you might think, not at first. The first night, I heard the wind howling, as one does in the mountains. But it wasn't the wind that caught my attention. It was the soft sound of footsteps upstairs. Just a few, barely there. I sat frozen, holding my breath, thinking maybe it was just the house settling. You know how old houses speak in creaks and groans. But these steps, they were careful, deliberate, like someone didn't want me to hear them. I remember whispering to myself, "It's nothing, Granny, just the wind." But even then, I didn't quite believe it. The next morning, I went upstairs. The bedroom up there was just as I'd left it, dusty and unused, with a small bed and a window that looked out into the woods. I noticed something odd, though. The window was slightly open, not wide, but just a crack. I know I hadn't touched it. And there on the windowsill were the faintest marks, like fingers had rested there. Still, I stayed. I didn't feel fear, not yet, just curiosity. I've always had a curious heart, as you know. That night, I tried to settle in with my knitting, but my hands wouldn't stop shaking. Not from fear, exactly, but from anticipation. I had the sense that something was about to happen, and it did. Around midnight, I woke up to the sound of humming, a soft, low lullaby, one I didn't recognize. It was beautiful, but haunting. It came from upstairs again. I sat there in bed, wrapped in a thick blanket, my heart pounding softly in my chest. I remember whispering, "Who's there?" But no one answered. Only the hush of the night replied, "Now, sweetheart, I want to tell you something important. When your body feels uneasy, when the hairs on your arms stand up, or your breath catches for no reason, trust that feeling. It's your spirit speaking to you." I stayed because I didn't want to seem silly, but looking back, I should have left right then, not out of fear, but out of respect for whatever else was sharing that space. On the third night, I decided to speak. I sat in the rocking chair, facing the stairs, and whispered, "I don't know who you are, but I'm not here to bother you. I just needed a quiet place for a little while. If you want me to leave, just let me know. And darling, The room grew cold, not chilly, cold. The fire flickered low and the air felt thick, but then a single soft knock came from the wall beside me. Not loud, just gentle, as if to say, I hear you. That's when I knew. The cabin wasn't haunted in a scary way. It was inhabited by something old, maybe a memory or a spirit who once loved that place. I think they just wanted to be acknowledged. That's all any soul wants, really, to be seen, to be remembered. I stayed one more night, and that night was quiet, peaceful even. The humming never returned. The window stayed shut, and in the morning, as I packed to leave, I left a cup of tea on the table. Just in case, I whispered, thank you for sharing your home with me. And as I closed the door behind me, I thought I heard the rocking chair creak once more. Now, my love, what I want you to take from this story is this. The world is layered with the seen and unseen. And sometimes, when we step into the quiet, we find that we're not alone. Not in a frightening way, but in a way that reminds us we're part of something much bigger than ourselves. Never be afraid to listen, to trust your instincts, and to respect the unknown. And always, always speak kindly to the silence. You never know who might be listening. Now, before you drift off to sleep, I want to ask you something from my heart. If you've enjoyed this little story, and if my voice has brought you comfort tonight, please subscribe to Granny's channel. It means the world to me to know you're out there, listening. You are never alone, my sweet one. I'm right here, whispering to you whenever you need me. Sleep well, my darling. Let the world melt away. I'll be right here next time you need a story. Good night.